From the News Center of Human Rights Media City, this is the Breakfast News on Human Rights Radio and Television. Today is Wednesday, July 22, 2020. Good morning, I am Martia Umar, but these are our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari sends 2021 to 2023 MTEF and FSP to National Assembly for approval. Senate asks a National Directorate of Employment to take over recruitment from Minister of State for Labour, Festus Keyamo. 4 killed with 2 others injured as car plunges into river in Ogun State. On the foreign in Tanzania's electoral body fixes date for general elections. In sports, Juventus manager Maurizio Sarri describes record-breaking Cristiano Ronaldo as extraordinary. Details of this and many more shortly. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday met with former President Goodluck Jonathan at the presidential villa in Abuja, where Jonathan briefed the president about his follow-up mission to Mali in bid to bring a lasting solution to the leadership crisis. Jonathan led delegation to Mali, which had recommended a unity government for the landlocked West African country, expects that the Malian president would set up the unity government soon. Former President Jonathan was at the State House with the ECOWAS chairman and other members of the delegation to Mali. At the end of the meeting with President Buhari, Jonathan expressed hope that a unity government will bring an end to the leadership crisis, noting that negotiations were still ongoing with the opposition in Mali, as only democratic processes will be adhered to while trying to end the crisis. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday forwarded the 2021 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper to the Senate. The MTEF-FSP document forwarded to the National Assembly for consideration and approval was accompanied by a letter read during plenary by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan. President Buhari in the letter commended the cooperation, support and commitment of the leadership and distinguished members of the Senate in the collective efforts to sustain the restoration of the January to December financial year. The President also wrote to the House of Representatives to seek approval for the 2021 to 2023 NTEF and FSP. The Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, read Buhari's letter at Tuesday's plenary. The Federal Executive Council had on Wednesday approved the MTEF and FSP with 12.66 trillion naira budget projection for each of the 3 fiscal years. And moving on, the Senate on Tuesday ordered the National Directorate of Employment to take charge of the recruitment process of the 774,000 temporary federal jobs from the Minister of State for Labour, Employment and Productivity, Festus Keyamo. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Okpeyemi Bamidele, brought the motion through a point of order to the Senate, noting the claims by Keyamo that Muhammadu Buhari had asked him to go ahead with the recruitment process. Bamidele noted that Keyamo was wrong to take over an assignment which was constitutionally assigned to the NDE through the revised 2020 Appropriation Act, as the Federal Parliament had approved the sum of 52 billion naira for the NDE to execute the exercise. The Senate therefore resolved that the NDE should take full charge of the implementation, while the ministry would play a supervisory role, ordering that its committees would carry out necessary oversight functions on the recruitment process. Similarly, the House of Representatives has asked the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, not to release any funds to the Public Works Program of the federal government if it will breach due process. And to Kaduna State, a former Deputy Speaker of the Kaduna State House of Assembly and member representing Kagarko constituency, Nuhu Shadalafia, has tested positive for COVID-19. The lawmaker disclosed this in a statement signed on Tuesday, calling for prayers for himself and others at the isolation center in Kaduna. Shadalafia disclosed that NCDC officials had taken his samples last week Friday, as well as those of his wife, aide and brother, noting that while his result came out positive, others returned negative. He said he was immediately moved to the isolation center, where he is presently receiving treatment and in a stable condition. Shadalafia urged everyone to obey the COVID-19 protection measures by observing social distancing, wearing face masks, washing of hands regularly with soap and water on the running water. And to Kwara State, the Kwara State government has threatened to sanction violators of the face mask in the state. Though this was disclosed to newsmen in Ilorin on Tuesday by the governor's chief press secretary, Rafiu Ajakai, amid rising cases of COVID-19 in the state, warning that the social distancing must be maintained to avoid being arrested. Ajakai stated that no effort will be spared to flatten the curve and protect the people, noting that with effect from Friday, nobody will be allowed into any public place, transport and banks, among others, without the proper use of face mask as a safety measure to reduce the transmission of the virus. He further explained that the state government will fully enforce the Infectious Disease Regulations 2020 in a week's time.